pick that NaJin Sword was looking for in their first game that was so instrumental in their success is not available. So we're going to have to see what Expression chooses to go for to counterpick that Jax. We know in their game versus Gambit, he did go for that Diana. Singe is still on the table. There's a lot of options available. We just got to see what he's going to go for.
The Diana game definitely comes to mind. In that one, I believe he was 2 versus 1 as well, though. So really the importance is in those deep wards. And if they can get the deep wards, so that SKT actually walk into them. We've seen SKT pull a lot of tricks as well. Them waiting in their base till the very last second when they rush cross over to the minion lines. They really don't want to give away how they're setting up the lanes in the beginning. So I think the level 1s even are extremely important in this matchup.
So we see there for Sword the Sona and that Lee Sin. Going to see Watch on the Lee Sin, something that, of course, Bengi has done so well within the last couple of games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think taking Lee Sin away from Bengi when he's posted up such big results is a really smart move. Bengi has been picking it right away if it is available. I think that's a really smart move on him. He's just been playing really well. Even in the first game when he lost, he got their bot lane, he got them ahead, and he's just been making play after play. So Watch, we haven't seen him play it in this tournament yet, but no doubt he's going to be able to post up some results as well.
Oh, so Bengi hovering over that Aatrox, which is another jungler that's very strong early if he has his passive available, though. That's someone with a lot of counterplay. When you're jungling Aatrox, you feel really strong when you have your passive up, but very weak when you have it down. And with these junglers at this level, the whole team can take advantage of you if they know that your passive is not up, and they can all just come in, invade your jungle, and really shut you down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Faker still has his Ahri on the table, so I would not be surprised to see him pick it up. Ahri plus Aatrox is a really powerful 2v2 combination, so I would not be surprised for them to put a lot of pressure onto Nagne and try to take advantage of the less experienced player on NaJin's Sword.
So we see the Ahri coming out there as the final pick anyway, so kind of expecting that one while it's still on the table for Faker. Other side, just to step back a little bit, the Renekton coming out in there for the top laner Expression, plus the Corki as well.
It's really interesting that SKT team, they've got a lot of split pushing potential. Not only do they have the Shen, but also, as mentioned before, Piglet on Vayne gets to the point where he can split push himself, and then Faker, as always, he's confident in his 1 versus 1 abilities.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not surprised at all to see the Renekton and Gragas picks picked up. Renekton has been huge this tournament. It's just Impact and Expression's go-to champion. When you want someone who's just going to consistently do well in their lane, push out and put pressure and allow the rest of the team to carry, Renekton is your go-to. And Nagne picking up that Gragas, it worked phenomenally for him in the first game versus Faker's Ahri. He's just looking to repeat that success once again, so let's see how that goes.
And this time around, there's no Bengi Lee Sin that's going to come around to behind his turret and snipe him. So hopefully he'll be able to hold on to his life a little bit longer.
Well, there is the Aatrox that could come behind his turret and snipe him off. We'll have to see how that one goes. But, you know, the question again that I have to ask is, can they adapt here to things? I mean, they did adapt, let's be honest, for game number 2. It was a very one-sided affair, that SKT win. Is this composition different enough now from Sword?
I mean, I like the change, especially taking away that Lee Sin, because he was the one who got it rolling, especially down in that bottom lane. You know, if they won't adapt their in-lane play, then taking away that champion's huge. But Aatrox is something I'm really a fan of, and I like this substitution here. Bengi going to that one next.
Yeah, no doubt. They gave Corki to PraY again. He's picked it basically every time it's been up. We've seen Corki huge in this tournament. Triforce, of course, a big factor in all of that. He hasn't had that much success on Corki in the last 2 games, so I'm actually really surprised that they chose to go for it again. But I mean, obviously, that's just showing confidence. I definitely think they're going to step it up for this game. So.
Also, that dual lane, Sona was banned out in the first game. So SKT, they know that that's a high priority for this bottom lane. We'll have to see if they can execute with it.
Well, thanks again once again, boy, for joining us for the picks and bans on this one. We'll see you again before game 4. However, we are going to move into game number 3 right now as SK Telecom T1 take on NaJin Black Sword. The scoreline, we're tied at 1-1 here in this best of 5 game.
And we'll see how well Sword can do in this matchup. In the very last game, we see them actually stealing away 2 picks here from SKT. That Lee Sin and that Renekton, locking them in for Sword, and we'll see if Sword can have the same level of success. As it stands, SKT with a heavy 5-man push down this mid lane already.
All right, so SKT also coming out with the 4 Doran start here. 2 blades, the ring, and the shield. They've pretty much got the whole set here. And I like The fact that they've got Shen with the Doran shield, he can go very easily into a 2v1 situation if they are able to get the ward coverage down to find that out. And Aatrox as well. Jungle Aatrox always starts with a Doran's Blade because he doesn't need any sustain from items. He won't buy a lot of potions. His W will sustain him up easily throughout the jungle. Whenever he gets below 50% HP, it triples the heal.
So look at this here. Sword did exactly pretty much the same as we saw from them at level 1 in game 1, where they headed down towards that bottom side by the red buff. Not quite getting the same wards in there. They've got one by the red, but not one a little bit deeper. And we saw that SKT set up this trap, but Sword not going to walk through.
Sword right now, they're stacking up towards their own blue buff area. Gonna hang around, play a little defensively. This is the first game that we've seen Sword not getting those very, very deep wards down on the SKT jungle. And this time around, they're just gonna have to do a little bit of guesswork as to where those lane matchups are gonna go. Nagne playing his Gragas once again, coming up against Faker's Ahri. It went very well for him in game number 1. He'll be hoping to repeat the success here in game number 3.
So blue buff start for Watch. He's going to be helped out by Expression, who will be taking this 2v1. As I say that, 2v1, he's moving down into the bottom lane, and it's looking like it will be a 1v1 as Impact is moving over. This is an interesting start from SKT.
So both of these solo laners shared blue buff experience with the jungler, but actually it's going to be Expression down to the lane first, so he's going to have the experience lead on Shen in this situation. And both of the junglers are looking to steal away red, so it's going to be a red trade for each of them.
Well, bengi has already secured that red buff, still looking very, very healthy from this early start. Watch will secure the red buff a couple of seconds later, going to clear out the last stragglers of that camp, and you see bengi continues to stick around in Sword's jungle. He's now gone into that Wraith camp and will be stealing that one away. It looks like Watch will most likely be doing similar as he's moving up to the Wraith camp, and both of these junglers reading their opponents and copying their plays.
I also want to shout out that bengi is going 6% lifesteal, so 3 lifesteal quints on his jungle Aatrox, whereas the European Aatrox, a lot of them just like to run straight flat damage on him, and he might even make use of his passive very early here. Aatrox loves diving turrets because he can just revive in the tower aggro reset. Looks like they make the call for him to just back off, though, as the good ward coverage for NaJin Sword.
So it does recall there after stealing away some of the golems, the Wraith camp, and the red buff. You can see that Watch once again still sticking around in the jungle here of SKT. Gonna pick himself up as double golems. Piglet and PoohManDu have been pushing PraY and Cain extensively in this top lane. Every time we flicked up, Piglet and Mandu have been against Sword's tower, but PraY is doing well to CS, just a couple behind, and he does have that full wave in front of him.
Yeah, someone forgot to tell Watch that they've switched sides from this one around because he's taking everything on that bottom side of the jungle here. We just saw bengi actually going over to the Wraith to see that there wasn't anything there. Of course, nothing on the red buff. And when he jumps over that side, he'll see that the big golem's gone as well.
bengi sulking a little bit as Watch has cleared out most of the large objectives. Watch going to return to his jungle, going to clear out that golem camp as well. Now he's going to go in to try and aid PraY and Cain. If there's any sort of harass down, they could burst Piglet, but there's no CC. Without that crescendo available, they're going to be relying on the summoner spell and the power chord slow of Cain. You can see Watch still milling about at the back there, waiting to use that safeguard in. Vision is not available. He's actually snuck himself in, so SKT are not going to be aware of Watch's position. However, look at bengi sneaking up from the lane. Aatrox is available to counter gank.
Now in the early 3v3 situation, if SKT don't have PoohManDu being initiated on, then Aatrox will come out ahead because he's got his passive.
Gonna dive in onto the side. It will be Watch that they focus on. He's actually knocked away there by Piglet, and everyone losing a little bit of health. PraY down to half there. Watching a similar scenario, but no first blood here.
And more flashes burned on the side of Sword though, so overall, SKT come out a little bit further ahead. I want to see how it affects them. Impact right now farming up under his tower. Expression gonna be doing some lane cutting as it were, getting between both of those towers and just really holding on to the wave, knowing that junglers were top lane. PraY takes a massive condemn into the wall. Continuing the aggression here from Piglet and PoohManDu, but you've got to give props to PraY. He's only a couple CS behind.
Look at Expression, they're going to be stealing away those golems as well, something that Watch did a little bit earlier on. Knowing that bengi was on that top side, he's feeling very, very safe to do so as well. There's Piglet actually chasing it on towards PraY once again. As he said, he condemned him right underneath that turret against the wall. Not quite got the ability to do that one again. Finally, in the bottom side, we're actually going to see Impact trying to stop Expression doing that farming, but what are you going to do? Pops his ultimate, and he's all fine again.
And there's nothing in the jungle for him to steal away either, so he's not going to get that much out of the ultimate. Meanwhile, when Impact does hit level 6 and he gets his Stand United, then he will actually be able to turn around something like this top lane gank that's about to go off. Will he get level 6 in time, though?
They know that Lee Sin's coming through there from that one. Impact does hit level 6, but the fact that Watch hadn't committed there.
Right, they wanted to bait it in, but since he wasn't quite level 6, don't want to take any chances.
Well, we do see Impact and Expression still trading blows on this bottom lane. Expression playing confidently, but hasn't built himself up a lead. Remember, he stole this pick away from Impact. Impact does have stands united, as you can see Watch moving towards the top lane. Bengi is very close by. Watch has committed, lands the Sonic Wave. They've jumped onto Piglet. He manages to get over to the ward. First blood is going to potentially be picked up here by SKT. Here comes Shen. He may have been interrupted. I don't think he landed. I think he Renekton got in the way. Now PraY still alive. Bengi continues to focus him down, gets the auto attack. Here comes Nagne. They pop Bengi's passive. The Bloodwell's going to come back up, and that's going to be another kill for Sword.
Great win for Sword right there. They were able to get the Stand United as well as the Aatrox passive down in addition to their kills. It did cost Expression his life though, because he had to dive the turret to get in range for that stun and interruption.
Well, this was waiting a little bit there for that first blood, but it certainly comes quickly. Now 2-2. It's NaJin Black Sword that have a slight lead coming off from this one, having the farm lead and that top side of things. Impact once again going to be pushing on through. He's not really been back to buy much up at this stage. See his opponent Expression, who did go down just a little earlier, has now got that giant spell added into a Doran's Blade and shield coming into this bottom lane again.
So Faker once again, after hitting level 7, got some good wards. Watch is just going to get melted. Faker's got another Spur Rush, is going to get forward, picks himself up a kill, and just melts Watch in the jungle.
Faker had to pull that pick off by himself because Bengi still coming from the base. Now they have all 5 members around Dragon though, and because of the play made by Faker and Faker's warding, they're able to grab that objective.
I have to say, he struggled a little bit in game 1 to make these kind of plays. He was baited into almost a similar scenario in a similar area of the map in that one, but this time around, things working off nicely. They get that objective straight away afterwards. Job done here for Faker. He goes 1-0-0 with that Finnish Codex now added in to his double Doran's rings. And Nagne changed his build up a little bit again, going for that chalice again this time.
Yeah, what we actually noticed there was Expression helping out Nagne with that blue buff. Expression pulls it up, PraY and Cain now trying to challenge and interrupt Bengi and Faker on this blue. Watch is nearby, does have his smite available, and there's no smite for Bengi, so this is going to make Bengi and Faker back away. That blue buff went on a very long walk as it does reset itself and secured there by Watch. So a good steal by Sword to give themselves a little bit of an advantage.
All of this jungle action is causing both junglers to be quite far behind. You can see it's a level 5 and a level 4, whereas the supports are already level 6.
Oh, Expression taking a lot of damage there underneath that tower. The Zyra Vayne combo doing a lot here against him. He does have the ultimate available should he need to pop that for safety, but in the end, with those minions being knocked down, they're able to force Piglet and Mandu away to stay safe. And in the meantime, PraY and Cain are going to come back down into this bottom lane. We finally have Crescendo in there for Cain as well. Just a bit of added danger.
Now we'll see if we can make it work for him. We do see that Phage sitting with PraY. Going to interrupt the recall of PoohManDu, but not going to commit further than that one. Summon a Flash and Barrier almost available there for PraY, so if a fight were to break out, he does have that potential to survive some burst damage from Piglet, who's once again running that cleanse. Does have a 10 CS lead, so as it stands, Piglet's Vayne a little bit further ahead thanks to all that very early pressure in that 2v2 lane.
Up top, we do have Watch getting positioned for a gank, but he misses the Sonic Wave.
Sad times for Watch there. Trying to get in. Nicely dodged though by Impact. We'll just whistle by. And he will be living to fight another day up on this top side. Between the two of them, 81 to 73. NJS Expression having the lead on that one, despite the fact that Impact was able to pick up that kill onto him a little bit earlier on. You can see that he's playing that one quite aggressive. And with that giant belt, with the chain vest, the main ingredients of that Sunfire Cape, Impact not taking too much damage from him at this point.
This would be the first match, I think, of the 3 that we've seen so far, where Impact and Expression have basically been even during the course of the game. In Game 1, Expression got very far ahead of Impact Shen. Game 2, they went in 2v1 lanes, and, you know, Impact got very far ahead. And right now, they're sitting basically even. 5 CS difference, and you see all 3 Dorans with Expression right now. PoohManDu and Piglet trading back and forth. There's a crescendo!
Crescendo coming in. As he's watched, there is the stun united. Is it going to be enough for Mandu? No, it's not. They managed to lock up Watch, though, and they'll be able to bring it back. Mandu stealing that one. Probably could have left that one off for Piglet, but they will trade. It's the jungler for the support.
He definitely should have left that for Piglet, because that was double buffs. Bengi here wants more.
Here comes Bengi, doesn't manage to land the Blades of Torment, and Impact and Piglet not really all too keen on that one. They're going to be happy with putting a lot of damage on this tower, and if nobody comes to contest, this could be the first tower of the game in favor of SKT.
Will be the first tower of the game here. I think they've got a good wave coming up. Vayne is just making sure that the next one doesn't come down to that one. Meanwhile, Impact joins him, and that will be surely the first one of the game going down in favor of SKT. Well, it's taking its time, that's for sure, but it is generally on its way out. Faker, meanwhile, has gone up now to this top lane to go up against Expression. Meanwhile, they're still having to tank it up. Finally, it goes down. There we go.
What I like about that is the tower was denying the minions, the gold, the levels, the XP from PraY. So even though it's only a 10 CS difference, it is a little higher thanks to that sort of strategic decision-making there of Piglet and PoohManDu. Right now, PraY, with that Sheen completed, is now once again returning to lane. But I anticipate that Piglet should have his Blade of the Ruined King or be very, very close to it, which is a massive, massive spike for him. He's going to be able to out-duel PraY in a 1v1 situation as long as he doesn't get instantly bengi down thanks to Cain's crescendo.
Just saw Faker there actually trying to lure in Expression. Well, didn't quite work out for him. He did have Bengi there to help him if that would have gone down, but a plan not coming to fruition. However, in this bottom lane, it is once again 2 versus 2. Those grasping roots, as we've seen before, have been a real game changer. Currently, Cain doesn't have crescendo up and available. Expression going to come in there. Charm actually did land onto him, but Expression had already got himself out to safety. But is it really safety? No. Bengi's coming around the side. There is the knockup. Ulti popped here by Aatrox. Bengi actually going to have his passive pop from this one, but Expression won't escape with his life. It's Faker that picks up the kill.
Expression staying there because he wanted to pop that. Oh, here we go down bottom.
Strangleforce comes down, throws Cain. No, he flashes over it. Now Piglet, tablet forwards.
Oh, he got hit.
Catches him just with a tip. He manages to flash away. Now PraY, way up front, secures a kill onto Piglet, throws down the barrier. Piglet is alive in the background, or rather, the tower drops in the middle there for Sword. A very good fight going in favor of PraY and Cain. It's not over, as here comes Watch. If the Sonic Wave lands, Piglet's in trouble. He connects. Barrel comes out a little wasted.
He gets the Sonic Wave to land even as the Condemn comes out. Really good confidence right there, and a little bit of overconfidence from Mandu. Continuing to try and fight that actually cost them his life, so that's the bottom turret as well being traded for this top.
So that brings the gold. We should probably wait a minute because SKT are pushing that middle outer turret as well. We do see Nagne coming around the side just to stop that one from happening as the minions get wiped out as well. And funnily enough, that does leave us level here. 2-2 in turrets, 5-5 in kills, exactly the same gold count.
Game 1, Sword were able to maintain this level game up until the 35-minute mark where the Vision and the Baron Dance went in their favor. And we'll see if they can continue to do that again here. Of the 5 kills in Sword, 4 of them are with Watch's Lee Sin. There's only that single kill on PraY's Corki. Dragon is up, they've started this one off, and you can see SKT looking to challenge.
There's no Faker though, and Piglet's pretty far away as well.
Oh, Impact's actually going in for that one. But it was already taken down. Smited nicely by Watch. That will be a Dragon going over towards Sword. Impact needs to be careful here. He stood on top of the ward. Sonic Wave landed onto me and realized, oh, my position has been spotted there. But no follow through. That will just be a nice little addition to NaJin Sword's gold token.
Piglet once again split pushing with his Vayne. There's no tower now to focus down in this bottom lane. It's been dead for a while. He's going to keep farming up. Bengi and Faker just waiting out of vision range. If Nagne steps forward, he could get caught by the charm as Faker does reveal himself. Now, Piglet and PoohManDu looking to play here with PraY and Cain. Trading a little bit back and forth, and Piglet and PoohManDu realize maybe they're a little too far if they chase past their river and back off safely.
Top lane pushing back here on towards Expression. He's started to build himself that lead up at this point. 25 CS in the lead. 3 assists in the kill though over for Impact. He's level with him on items. Even got that Negatron cloak above his opponent and the boots as well.
He's also buying a decent amount of pink wards to keep that top area vision in SKT's favor. Now if Impact can keep his distance and know where Expression is at all times, then he can safely use his Stand United with confidence that it won't be interrupted this time and turn around some plays elsewhere on the map.
Well, do you see Nagne being collapsed on here by 3 members of SKT? Bengi has got himself a Vampiric Scepter to go with all that additional lifesteal. He's going to knock Bengi backwards, doesn't connect with the slow, but watch, kicks him backwards. A great dark flight over the wall is going to allow Bengi to get out cleanly, but it's not going to be enough to get past the Excite. Now Expression is jumping onto Impact.
Impact here down to half, but Expression not got the damage to finish things off, and Impact able to stay alive there in that top side of things. Bengi a little bit unlucky, managed to jump away before taking, you know, that deathly damage, but the Ignite was still running on him as he went over the top of the wall. Nagne picked up that one.
Yeah, Impact was caught up in the fight that he was having with Renekton. Even if he had gotten off the shield from Stand United, would have saved Bengi's life.
Well, the rest of Sword now stacking up towards this top lane. Impact is alone. If the rest of Sword were to collapse, that would be a 4v1. And I think Impact is aware of the potential. He's backed off way down the lane. Sword secure the 3rd tower of the game and extend their gold lead to 2,500, maintaining control of the game ever so slightly.
Yeah, going to plan for them at this point. You have to say that. See that Mandu now has almost leveled up with Watch and picked up that Oracle's Elixir as well, so we'll be seeing a bit more ward clearing coming in. Bengi putting down pressure on that mid turret. He does have his Bloodwell back up and available for him now, but they do take down the turret, and that leaves us at 3-3 in towers, all outer turrets down on the entire map.
Question is now, where do Sword go from here? We've seen this sort of back and forth play from both of these teams, securing objectives when their opponents were not there to defend them. We haven't seen sieges or picks leading to these things, so we'll have to see how both of these teams play this one. Vision is the step that happened in game 1, and you can see a multitude of wards across all of these players. Nagne now looking to play with PoohManDu. Wow. He flashes over the wall. PoohManDu's seen this movie before, and it didn't end well for him.
He knows that Sword will not hesitate to follow up when they do get the pick on him, so blowing that flash right there, very, very well done, but it cost him a flash for just a ward kill, so it was just making the best of a bad situation here.
A couple of times too many, maybe we could say, that Mandu's been caught out so far in this game, and he wasn't going to let that happen to him again. Flashing away, stay safe. But look at this, Bengi in the jungle off Sword right now, and maybe a little bit too deep. He's going to have Piglet coming up there with that Vayne to support him. In the end, just jumps away from it. We also see Impact pushing that top lane right out. He's going to try and steal a golem as well.
He does have Watch coming in behind him, though.
There's no taunt available. Now Impact is in trouble. Expression lands the stun down. We do see Impact gets kicked backwards. Slice goes through once. Crescendo over the wall. Dice now lands as well, and Impact gets dropped. Sword commits a fair amount to that, but they do get the kill.
Impact was spending so much money on these pink wards, but there's a small path through the jungle that Watch took, getting through the vision, able to get behind him, and they take out the global at the source. Really well played there from Sword.
Piglet making sure that that bottom lane is not going to go too far and too dangerous on towards that inner turret on the bottom lane. So he's just down there picking himself up some much needed farm, keeping that tower safe at the same time. He's got that Blade of the Ruin King now finished in. If we look over the other side, PraY added into that Trinity Force and Sorcery Shoes now with a pickaxe.
Well, we'll see how quickly he can get that Last Whisper completed. PraY once again going with that. I'm going to start calling a traditional Corki build right now, because we're seeing Sorcerer Shoes as almost the standard boots on this patch version of Corki with a Trinity Force, and a lot of people, not deviating from it. Right now, Faker's going to secure that blue buff for himself, and if we go all the way back to just before Impact died, when Bengi and Watch were battling in the jungle, I felt that Watch came out way ahead as far as damage was concerned, and he's built more tanky. I mean, Bengi has gone glass cannon basically. Yeah, he's got a single ruby crystal as his tank item to back up his lifesteal quince and his Bilgewater Cutlass.
Yeah, going for the Bilgewater Cutlass, he's looking to be able to pick people off there and have another slow in his kit, but it did cost him in those jungle trades. Lee Sin has a very strong kit for those trades. He can slow the attack speed of Aatrox, which is really where Aatrox is shining, and it mitigates a lot of his damage, especially if Aatrox does not hit his 2 spell combos that are hard to hit at long range.
Just over 10 seconds for Dragon to come up there as we saw Sword move down to that Dragon Pit. In the end, it was SKT who started to push up through that mid lane, and it forced Sword to back away from the Dragon takedown. And now they're headed up top with Shen pushing that one through. SKT might be able to pick that one up or even make a play on mid. Look how clever they are right now.
Yeah, great play by SKT, playing the map perfectly. They've got a stack in the mid lane, they've got the split pusher up top, and we always talk about when you've got that global, the best way to do it is shut down the source of the global, then go for the rest of the team. And as it stands, Sword, they saw a big juicy dragon and almost got pulled into it. Now, Stand United is available, and you can see Expression going to challenge Impact, but if a fight breaks out, it's going to be SKT with the advantage that they can pull him down there.
Expression has to keep vision of Impact this time. That's why you can see him chasing Shen to the ends of the earth right now. The rest of his team cannot engage unless he has vision on Shen, or else it's going to be a 5 versus 4.
Oh, risky play here coming in, the barrel
He lost
thrown down.
vision.
They've done a lot of damage in there. It's Stan United coming in, the flash over from Bengi. They're going to get involved in this one. Where is the taunt from Impact?
Everyone
There it
backs
is.
off.
They flash it away. They have pulled away. Dragon picked up here by SKT. Are they just going to back away through that bottom side? Yes, it looks like it. The charm did land there to Lee Sin. They followed through Impact. PraY picks up the kill, and they're going to keep going.
It's not over yet. There's a flash over the wall from Cain. Expression has his dominance running. He's
Oh!
flashed. He stuns up Piglet. That's been cleansed. The resonating strike follows through. Crescendo catches Bengi over the wall, but it's not going to be enough. And the Ignite is survived thanks to Watch's safeguard. Dragon was secured by SKT, but they lost a single kill, and now they're red buff.
Those cleanses from Piglet so far have been clutch. It is a pretty good trade, doing Dragon for just 1 kill, but they also lost mid power.
Oh, Faker's in trouble there. That was a flash body slam
Oh, he
from
got
Nagne. He gets him with the ultimate. Now Bengi's caught out. He manages to get popped. The Bloodwell's been activated. Nagne's going to throw down a barrel. That explodes. That's 2 kills now for Sword. If they want the tower, they can get it. Instead, they're going to back away.
Nagne creating plays once again on Faker. What a beautiful job right there. And they also bait in. Yes, the body slam into flash once again so that there's nothing Faker can do to dodge it. And then he ends it with his ulti. Baiting Bengi in is just icing on top of the cake, because not only do they get another kill, but they also take out his passive for another 3 minutes and 45 seconds of Aatrox downtime.
Yeah, Faker's flash out there. He actually flashed at the exact same time there and didn't quite get away from it. Not the ideal play coming out, but it's another kill over towards Sword.
That's why people do the taunt into flash or the body slam into flash, because it's so hard to dodge that. Whereas if you flash and then throw your spell, they can dodge the animation of your spell with a flash of their own.
Well, right now, that is great Gragas play from Nagne. 2-0-3. He hasn't necessarily shut down Faker like he did in game 1. It definitely feels like those barrels are having an impact in this matchup. He's played Gragas in all 3 games. If Sword pick up a win here, you have to imagine SKT may consider banning that champion in the next one. We do see now that PraY as well as Nagne hanging out in the mid lane. They managed to root up Nagne. You can see the rest of Sword grouped up towards that blue buff and top lane area. They want to now stop playing the map. They're playing the same game SKT were a moment ago.
Expression here, but this top side Impact, the only man currently to defend that tower as Sword moved 3 or 4 men over to defend it. SKT having to do the same there with Piglet and Bengi coming around, but that Corki taking chunks out of everyone.
So the siege from NaJin Sword works like Gragas clearing waves with his normal barrels and then saving the ultimate. When he knocks people away, it allows Corki to get Trinity Force procced auto attacks onto the turret.
Oh, we do see the taunt almost landing there for Impact. Not going to connect this time round. The ultimate is not available for Nagne. You can see it was popped in that last little trade. There's no Bloodwell for Bengi. He's forced to use that Dark Flight to get out. A good grasping route's going to lock up Sword, but this should be the tower as PraY continues to hammer it down. There's those Trinity Force procs you were talking about. A little bit of an extended siege, but Sword come up with a 4th tower kill of the game for themselves.
And they're going to turn that into another blue buff here. That's very important for Nagne. He can continue to zone SKT on those tower pushes, and they can siege up.
So let's have a look then down some of the items while we've got maybe a little bit of a breather in this one. I'll not call that one just yet. For Faker, DFG obviously from earlier on, moving himself up to what looks like will be that death cap within the Silage Rod and the Blasting Wand. Other side, very similar side obviously from that first item. The Athenes was picked up first. And their farm between them very, very even at this stage. The AD carry is a little bit different from that. We can just see the gold there is so close, 8.9 thousand to 9,000 gold between the two mid laners.
I also feel like this particular game, Expression's Renekton is having a much bigger impact than it did in the previous matchup where he was playing Jax into that Renekton. He's being a presence in his team, provides that dominance, and the meat wall that he's been playing is working into NaJin Sword's favor. We also seen PraY securing that blue buff for himself, which is also something that Sword did in game 1.
Again, we talked about the effectiveness of a blue buff on Corki, and now that they are able to have that plus the blue buff on Gragas, they have a huge advantage in the next push.
You do see now Sword roaming towards this bottom lane. We always talk about going to the source of the global and killing it, but it did look like Impact got out of vision of Expression, and the rest of Sword backed away, realizing actually Baron was a very juicy target. If they focused Impact down, it could have allowed SKT onto the Baron. And we get a little bit of a misposition here as SKT could collapse on Sword from multiple angles. Recall pings come in loud and clear, and Sword back away. And I still want to highlight, Bengi, no additional items after that Ruby Crystal and that Bilgewater.
He doesn't get any combat effectiveness from those home guard upgrades that he got for his boots, so you won't see him coming out ahead in those trades anytime soon.
Oh, there's Expression just walking in towards Impact. He had that pink ward down in the brush, and he continues to push this bottom lane out there as Bengi going to be the focus for those Corki Rockets as well. Now Piglet there playing a bit of a dangerous game, just seeing how much they can test each other in that middle area. Gragas and Lee Sin both off to the side from it, but the Dragon coming up here in 20 seconds would be another welcome addition for Sword. But look at this, they're actually heading around towards that bottom side of the map. They're just trying and close in on towards Impact.
They knock him backwards with the barrel. Dominus is down from Expression. He's trying to get in range for that area of effect damage. Bengi comes down, but he misses his shot. Nagne pinned against the wall. Piglet is in a little bit of a dangerous position. They get stunned up by Expression, is melted. A great kickback from Watch. Nobody gets caught up by the Strangleforce, and now you can see PraY and Cain rejoining the fight. The HP is with NaJin Sword as they get on the tower.
That's the tankiness of Expression you were just talking about. He doesn't go down, and Impact, since he got caught out with the early 2 versus 1 there, does go down, and Bengi missing that Dark Flight was only hurt them even more.
Sword picking up another turret in this one. 5-3 now they lead. Have a solid 4,200 gold, let's call it. They lead. And in game number 1, they certainly took a lot longer to close things out. Guaranteed it wasn't such a one-sided match as we saw in game number 2. They've just taken themselves another Dragon though, but slowly but surely, they're getting the job done. It's not about how fancy you do it and how quick it's about getting that job done.
And NaJin Sword do have longer average game times as well, so they normally close them out a bit slower.
Well, we do see now Sword continue to build up the tankiness. There is a Negatron Cloak now sitting in PraY's back pocket. We can see that Randian's Omen plus a Negatron Cloak with Expression. He's got no additional offensive items, just going to rely on that sort of ultimate percentage HP damage and the Sunfire Cape to shred through your opponents. And when you got over 3k HP and great resistances, it's very difficult to get rid of him. So you can see Expression was shoving out that top lane while the rest of Sword grouped in the middle lane. Stand United once again available from Impact. And I have to say, his Shen has not necessarily blown my mind. Game 1, it was first pick, didn't offer that much. Game 3 now, first pick, still not offering as much as I think SKT were hoping.
Since NaJin are all grouping up in the mid lane here, it's gonna force something from SKT. SKT having Shen split pushing, he's gonna have to join the fight if there's a hard engage. This is all on the next Gragas ulti.
Oh, barrels rolling in there as well. That turret now down to half. They managed to avoid the damage and knock up out of Bengi. There is Watch right at the front trying to get involved. Bengi, blown up Well, his passive is there to save him. Will he be able to escape? There is Stan United coming in. Stranglethorn's going to knock NaJin sword into the air. PraY is going to fall here. Faker from the side. Crescendo comes around. SKT doing great in this one. Now Cain going to be the target. Exhaust goes down, but it won't make a difference. Expression is going to try and chase down Faker here, but with Impact to get that taunt down, will he have the finisher? No. Faker is still alive. Charm's going to land onto him. Is he going to be able to walk away? Faker is still running, still damaging him. There's another taunt, and Expression goes down. What just happened here? Faker magic again.
Faker timed that re-engage just at the beginning of the fight. Let's look at this again. He times the re-engage perfectly with the Aatrox revive and then Shen shield on top of Aatrox. Faker went right through that fight all the way to the back and takes out PraY at the very beginning, taking so much damage away from Sword. And then he's able to land the combo onto Sona. Now right here, it's up to the very coordinated play. Impact with the taunts at the perfect times. Right after the stun goes down, he gets it onto Faker, and Faker heals up the minion. He sees that he has the passive up. He gets the full Orb of Deception, which does the most damage and will heal him for the most. Then times the charm onto Expression for the last hit, which spaces out perfectly for taunt to come back up.
Massive, massive play there for SKT. Going to give them an immense amount of confidence. The tower did fall during that engagement, so Sword maybe tunneling a little too hard on that objective and chunking down Bengi. Thought that they could get away with a little bit more. We'll have to see how this affects them. 5-1-1 on Faker Ahri. And right now, Piglet's Vayne 0-2-3. Not really a big factor in that engagement. Sword still hold a 3,500 gold lead. And we'll see how they play this one out, clearing out the vision all around the Baron pits.
Don't think we can ever count SKT out at this stage when they can make plays like that, when Faker can come in and do incredible things as he once again lines up the charm there. Didn't quite connect this time around. And Cain can thank his lucky soul for getting him out of that one. Meanwhile, Impact pushing, surprise, surprise, with that Shen down in this bottom lane. He's going to be joining a little bit later once that Stand United is called for, but a bit of a standoff, similar to what we saw in game number 1 now, around this same time frame.
SKT are going to do their best to stall this out because they actually can't make that same play again because they don't have the revival from Aatrox, and without that, he's extremely squishy. He'll just go down very quickly again. So SKT really, really going to do everything in their power to barely hold on to some vision around Baron and stall this game as long as they can.
Well, the rest of Sword right now stacking down this mid lane. That's all 5 of them. They have their ultimates available if they want to start a fight. PoohManDu off to the side. He's going to have to be careful. We do see PraY going in. Stranglethorns comes down. Now PraY, he's on the wrong side of the team. He's still alive. Crescendo locks up the backline there. SKT is PraY secured. The first kill of the fight. They traded support for support, but now Faker and Piglet are going to Sword side of the base. PraY gets taunted up. PraY gets knocked up. He's still alive though as he focuses down Piglet. This is a fight going in Sword's favor. Impact still alive. Fails his dash to the wall. Flashes away. He's gonna get shut down by Sword.
Faker died there at the end as well, and honestly, they can leave Impact alive. He's going to have to recall here. Meanwhile, Sword going to push through. He's going to call out. PraY going to chase this one down, and it will be another kill. He's still alive. Surely can't escape this one. I'll happily eat my words, though, if he does. He's headed off in towards the base right now. Meanwhile, they're still pushing off. Here is Impact. What's he going to do? Close.
Flashy finish right there. Taunts his face right into the wall, and PraY's able to finish him off. But that was he'll delay long enough that the ace didn't come through. Now they have control over Baron, and they're turning on it very quickly.
Well, PraY and Watch now hammering away on this one. SKT, even though they've got a lot of mobility, are miles away. Baron's going on. Talk to us through this fight. As you can see, Baron in picture.
So like we said, SKT wanted nothing more than to stall this game out, but because MonDu gets caught out of position, Faker takes the initiative again to go answer. He takes out the Sona, but then, you know, Impact into the Bengi stun from Dark Flight is not enough to hold down PraY. And Bengi, without that passive we talked about, after he goes down, not coming back up, Expression this time able to chase down that Ahri and finish off Faker.
Revenge to be had there, I think, from Expression after that previous encounter in mid. The Baron was taken while we were watching that replay there by NaJin Black Sword. That gives them just an incredible advantage now moving forward with that inhibitor down in the middle lane, with the top lane and the bottom lane only having the inhibitor turrets left remaining. This is close stuff once again. SKT just holding on to this game.
Yeah, and so crucially in that previous team fight, PraY actually committed, jumped onto PoohManDu, and I panicked for him. I was like, you're going way too deep, man. He had Shen and Aatrox jumping onto him, but so crucially was able to survive. Well, you see Expression has now caught out Impact, throws down the Randian's Omen, does get taunted up. Now watch, has chased him from behind. He's landed the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, it's going to kick him straight back into the rest of the team as well, and well, I'm afraid you don't escape these ones. Impact did manage to get the taunt off there finally, but that is the Shen down. That's a minute death timer now. Bad news for SKT.
Second time in a row, someone from SKT getting caught out. NaJin now gonna push in.
See how this works out for them. Sword with a 5 versus 4 in the best case scenario. SKT 40 seconds without Impact. Shen, the rest of the Sword are now hammering away on this tower. The barrel comes out from Nagne. Doesn't throw anyone towards him, but Faker's low. Expression does get the stun onto bengi. His Bloodwell still alive. Hasn't been popped yet. His Expression is going to slice and dice through the minions. They've taken down the inhibitor. That's the second inhibitor of the game, all thanks to Impact being caught out.
Still 20 seconds here until Impact actually comes back in, but super minions coming down middle. Faker, bengi getting himself sealed up as well to come back into the fight, and see Sword back down to the bottom lane where it's the last place with those inhibitors remaining. This is the next juicy target for them to put on that pressure so ridiculously hard and get those minions streaming in from the base, the super minions from every single lane.
Sword has a pretty easy time of sieging up here. Not only do they have the Baron buff regen, but they also have Sona and continuous rockets coming out of PraY. All I have to do is wait for that Gragas ultimate one more time. He can split up this SK team, and they can take down the last turret.
3 seconds on its availability, 2-1, and all of a sudden that cask is ready to be thrown out by Sword. The question is, will anyone from SKT stand far enough forward to actually get caught out? Remember that bengi still has his blood well available, as well as a Locket of the Iron Solari, so a little bit more survivability in these team fights if they break out.
Even if Nagne just pushes all members of SKT back with the barrel, then that opens up the turret for Sword to take down pretty quickly as well. So even if they don't get someone forward, it's going to be some tower damage.
We see the rockets all landing nicely there on towards Faker. PraY going to step himself up there and get a couple of auto attacks off, actually tanking up the turret and sort of actually moving into this one. It's watching Expression caught by the grasping roots, but they just don't care about that one right now. They are going to take the third and final inhib. Can they win the game?
Well, see if they can chase this one in. This is going to be a 5 versus 5 on the Nexus turrets, but Sword have got those streams of super minions pouring into the base. The barrel comes out there from Nagne, as we do see bengi gets caught by a couple of auto attacks. Expression has his Randians, has his ultimate. bengi started the fight.
bengi is going to go in for this one, but there is a crescendo coming away. Piglet going to use that cleanse on the backside, but he's going to be chased completely out of the fight. Stan United actually coming down onto him. Piglet did survive. Not so lucky here for those Nexus turrets though. There is Impact getting himself locked up. Piglet almost being blasted down. And there is PraY going in with the Valkyrie to pick up another one. That's 4 men down for SKT. And that is the win. 2 games to 1 now for NaJin's Black Sword.
Top of that, 3 red side victories, and what a great turnaround.